Hi everyone, I'm Hannah or Miss West in the classroom, and I'm going to be talking about the assessment strategy of self-assessment or self-reflection, specifically through the use of a critique. This is in an art classroom in high school, standards of grades 9 through 12, and I'll quickly talk about the standards themselves and then go into the application of the assessment strategy. First off, we're starting with the Visual Art Standard 2.1, which is to create original works of art of increasing complexity and skill in a variety of media that reflect their feelings and points of view, there being the students. And then the supporting standard of ELA in grades 9 and 10 is to develop claims and counterclaims fairly, supplying evidence for each while pointing out the strengths and limitations of both in a manner that anticipates the audience's knowledge level and concerns. So in this unit, the students will be creating two pieces of artwork, and this is in the learning intentions below, based off their point of view or perspective, creating a photograph first and transferring their knowledge and art to a drawing. This takes place outside of the classroom or within school grounds or in their environment and community as a whole. So students will be creating two pieces of artwork, first of all taking that photograph and then transferring it into a drawing. Secondarily, students will compare and contrast the two works they have produced by providing evidence of the elements and principles of design for each, while pointing out their strengths and weaknesses and reasoning behind their pieces. The second part right here is a part of the critique and assessment strategy. The critique will take place close to the end of the assignment, where students are able to demonstrate their learning and knowledge. Right here we have a deconstruction of the standards. I'll just kind of go down the list and explain the thinking behind it. So you're going to create original works of art of increasing complexity and skill in a variety of media. This is extended thinking of conducting a project that requires a specific design. Students take the photograph themselves and have to place whatever subject and content matter within that photograph. It's not as easy as pointing an iPhone. Reflect their feelings and points of view through this photograph and develop claims and counterclaims fairly. This is strategic thinking to develop a logical argument based on what subject, content, and area they chose to photograph and draw. Then supply evidence for each, while pointing out the strengths and limitations of both in a manner that anticipates the audience level of knowledge and concerns. So when you're creating a piece of artwork, you not only have to think about your point of view, but you also have to think about how the audience is going to perceive this piece and whether or not you want them to be able to immediately know the reasoning and meaning behind your piece of artwork, in this case the final drawing, or if you want there to be an elusive kind of quality where they have to really look at the subject matter and symbolism and color schemes that are within to gain that understanding. So the example of the critique product would be, I have a photograph on the left. This is of maroon bells in Colorado. And then the drawing of that same photograph on the right-hand side. The key here is that the drawing is not a direct replica of the photograph that was taken. This is important because it emphasizes the need in this assignment of the principles and elements of design here, in this case being value, line, depth, and perspective. However, that's just the art pieces themselves. The actual formative assessment that we're looking at is the critique aspect, which is, I have two examples. One is more accommodative and modified, and one is more technical. So the one on the left is a little more technical, where students are able to look at their own work and reflect on their learning and the knowledge that they were able to output. We have a couple different categories here, the first being describe, analyze, interpret, and decide and evaluate. when the students answer these questions based on their own works, they're able to walk themselves through a metacognitive process, thinking about their thinking process, analyzing why they chose to make the decisions that they did within their artwork, their subject matter, and their final product. This allows us to demonstrate their knowledge and me as a teacher to look at what kind of techniques I need to reteach, what students need more help with, and or if there's processes in place that need to be tweaked within timelines of the classroom and or of the product. The one on the right hand side is an art reflection. This is a little less technical, if you will, allowing the students to really think about their reasoning. So what did I do? Describe what you did. This could be a step-by-step. This is the part of the assignment that I want them to truly look at their strengths and weaknesses personally. Understanding what was important about what I did. Applying what could I use or do again. And analyzing, do I see any patterns in what I did? And then at the bottom is the evaluating and creating. What should I do next and how well did I do? I really want my students to focus on what they did well. It's not always about the weaknesses or areas of improvement. We need students to realize their strengths and how they can utilize these in further projects. And then on the right hand side, I really like this format that uses I wish, something you would have changed, not necessarily a weakness, but I wish or I want to improve on. That is the formative assessment that I'm using. Again, the critique style self-reflection. This is meant to be before the closer of the assignment, but not the official summative assignment of the art that they produce. Those are going to be based on a rubric and peer review. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.